Hello my wasabis, this is Jerby from Couch Wasabi. So for today's coffee video, we have another batch of beans that I got very recently. And this is from Trails and Traces. This is the Colombia Finca La Ilusion. So if you want to get to know more about this coffee, then please keep on watching. Alright, so I got this last week. And I was instantly drawn when I saw this posted on Instagram. I was instantly drawn on its flavor note. So in here, the package says that this batch of beans is actually reminiscent of mango, passion fruit, and cherries. So those are really amazing flavor notes that I'd love to capture, I'd love to taste from a coffee. And so I placed my order instantly. And you know what makes it special is that I actually met Aaron again over the weekend during the coffee event, the coffee pop-up of Sikap Coffee and Trina's Homebrew. So, wala lang, para lang. I actually met him when I first got my first Trails and Traces coffee. If you haven't seen that video, I'll post it up here through the cards. So that's the first coffee from this roaster that I've ever tried. And I got this kasi well, it's very interesting to be able to taste mango, passion fruits, and cherries. So anyway, this is from Colombia. It's also my first Colombia beans. I've never really tried Colombia. I've never really purchased any bean from South America. I've always been drawn to African beans, like Ethiopians. I've tried a lot. And if there's a choice, I normally choose Ethiopian beans. And so it's very interesting for me. I'm very curious how this would taste like. So for today, I will be using the usual recipe. I normally go for 12 grams of coffee. It smells so good. It smells creamy. This is, I think, I'm not so sure, light roast yata ito, but it doesn't say here. Pero alam mo yung iba yung profile niya. Okay. So let me just get 12. And by the way, I just ordered a new grinder. And I'm excited to get that. As to what grinder, later on na natin yung reveal. I'll be doing a comparison video also with this bean and both of those grinder para we'd know kung meron bang effect yung grinder or yung grind consistency with the roast. Okay? Alright, let's put the bean up here. 12 grams. I normally go for 12 grams and follow Kurasu's recipe. As you can see, I've already pre-wet this. So let's start grinding. Midway, I like checking. How's my grind size? Okay, that's pretty fine. And it smells good. There you go. So you can see that it's pretty fine. I think I'm almost done. Let me check. Konti na lang. Just a few more beans. I think we're done. Wala na. Yep, very few. And wala na. Alright, so I think we're done here. Okay, I think we're done. So tap it out. Okay. Make sure na walang water. Okay, there. Tap it down. Okay. I like having a little catch-all tray here para I don't have to put anything on the table. Everything's just in here. Alright, so here is how our grind looks like for our Colombian Finca La Ilusion. I normally measure out my water para sure. And give a little allowance. Parang if I need 200 ml, I'd put a little 220 or 210 here on my gooseneck. So I normally like using Curacau's V60. And for Curacao, it's basically 12 grams of coffee, 200 ml of water, and the grind size is medium fine. So I think mine is medium fine. I mean, the Porlex can't really go super fine, so sakto na yan, for sure. And then the heat of the water has to be 92. So we can wait for it to cool down a bit. That is like 2 minutes from boiling point. Alright, so it has finally come to a boil. Let me just... So it has finally come to a boil. Let me just measure out 200. Okay, so it's now at 232. And let us start brewing our coffee. Okay, I'm about to start. I got a 28. It's blooming so beautifully. Okay, and then 85. It looks so creamy. Okay, I got it at 85, sakto. At this time, I normally like stirring it a bit. Kahit walang stir kay Curacao, I just like doing that at this part. And then 90 ml, I think. Then last stir. Others say swirl, it's up to you. Baka I just like stirring for a more even coffee bed. Let's wait. And I might have done my grind a little too fine, kaya nauna yung timer before all my water has drawn down. But it's okay. It has a very full and bold aroma, but it's not, like the profile of the boldness is not as strong as your Baraka or typical Pinoy coffee. You know, it's different, but it's very well-rounded. So I'm excited to taste it. I will just wait for a minute just to let it cool down. All right, so here is the look of my coffee bed. As you can see, ganyan siya. There you go. So it's medium fine naman, right? To me, it's medium fine. All right, so it's time for me to have a taste. Sobrang mainit pa siya. Oh wow, it actually has a very nice profile. Wait, I like sipping straight from the cup. Ayoko yung ganito when I'm trying to taste coffee. Actually, it has a very different fume. I can't really capture the fruits. Pero iba siya. Wait, I will try to let it cool down. But the smell is very fruity nga. The smell is very... like, you know, it's not your typical. For example, when I tasted Matutum, that's like a very, very Filipino coffee. What else? I've tasted also... the other one. Yung may green label. Lipa. Lipa is also very Pinoy. You know, there's a certain profile because the coffee from which they are from, they would normally carry out a very definite type of profile, and so, you know, you can't really deviate much from it. Parang yun na talaga yung inherent characteristics niya. While this definitely has a very different profile from those Philippine coffee that I've tried. It has strength, unlike most Ethiopian beans that I've tried. It has strength, but it's actually very pleasant. I like it. It's not sweet. It's not as sweet as I expected it to be. Because I'm really expecting it na parang, uy, baka it tastes like mango. Hindi, there's no mango. Perhaps there's passion fruit. It actually comes on strong, pero as soon as it dies down, I mean, as soon as you swallow the coffee, as soon as the boldness dies down, it actually is very pleasant. It's bright, it's clean. You can sense the fruitiness, but it's none of the sweetness that I was expecting. So I was really expecting like the sweetness of a ripe mango. Wala namang ganon. Hindi ko na-achieve. Passion fruit, yes, I would understand, pero passion fruit kasi is not that sweet. If you've ever like tasted the real fruit, if you're looking for one, there's some in SM Hypermarket, Tiendesitas. Once in a while, may passion fruit on. You can get some and try it. Yeah, but when you taste passion fruit, there's not much flavor in it. So when you put here kasi mango, parang, yun yung pinaka-tasty, and cherries. So I was actually like trying to achieve that. But yes, it's definitely fruity. And it's actually very refreshing. I love it. I like it. This is the type of coffee that I'd love to serve to my friends, to let them taste, especially if they've never really tasted coffee aside from the usual Cordillera blend or Benguet blend. I've talked to some people na parang pag Benguet, yun na yung pinaka-ano sa kanila. And then I tell them, you know what, there's so much more aside from Benguet. You know, we have in the Philippines alone, we have other regions who can produce nice coffee din, hindi lang Benguet. I mean, you can check out Mount Apo, you can check out Bukidnon, you can check out, marami pa. And this is something very refreshing if you give it to someone who's tasted or who's been a fan of like really strong Barako blend. It's actually very comforting and mellow. And yun nga, every time you take a sip, it will come on a little bit strong. Like there's the coffee profile into it, medyo strong. Pero pag nilulun mo na, as soon as you swallow it, as soon as it dies down, parang it elevates. Tumataas siya, it elevates. I'm still missing the mango. I could probably attribute the cherryness into its like color. But the taste, wala naman. I don't really, parang to me, it's a little winey. Ma-wine. And it has a very complex, like, development of flavor in it. I think pwede ko na siyang takpan. It has a very complex way of developing its flavor. Galing. Still same. Now it has cooled down na, as in parang warm na lang siya. I like it because it dies down clean and it's actually very refreshing. And I like it kasi I know that this is something that I can like have my friends taste and I won't be disappointed, or they won't be disappointed from it. I think they will also be delighted kasi it has a very unique profile. I think it can please both dun sa range ng mga mahilig sa dark, a bit strong Barako, and to those who are like looking for dimensions and profile. Kasi parang ganun siya. It comes off strong at first. Not strong, pero parang boom coffee, but not super like wow coffee. So it comes off at first as coffee, pero it dries down like really smooth, clear, and bright. Really interesting cup. And now that I'm burping some of the coffee, parang dun makikita yung fume na, oh, it's a little fruity talaga. Like there are fruitiness into it, but there's not much of the sweetness that I'm expecting. Which is okay lang. I mean, you don't really have to. Maybe it would be interesting for me to try Lily Drip on this. And then let's see kung makukuha niya yung sweetness. Maybe I should try that in another video. As soon as my other grinder arrives, I'll try that too. It's very interesting. So this is a natural processed Caturra variety. Those information don't really mean much for me right now. I'm not that technical. Like, to me, when I choose my coffee, I'm very, very basic. Parang, okay, I check the flavor notes, I make sure that the brand or the roaster is credible, and then I'll buy it. And then, I'll taste it and check if it's real, for me at least, or hindi. To me, it has fruitiness, so there's that. It didn't give me, I'm expecting something like really ripe mango sweet, because I've tried tasting coffee that's like really peachy sweet. So I've been expecting that, pero hindi. So, you just have to manage your expectations. Ako, I'm managing my expectations. Am I disappointed? No. Kasi I can detect the complexity of its flavors. It's not the black coffee. I've tasted black coffee, and this is not one of them. I got this for 800 pesos per bag. Is the price reasonable? I think it's okay, given that you know that it's special. Like when you've tasted it, you know that it's special. You know that it's not your typical coffee. Ayoko yung, my pet peeve is when I buy like an expensive coffee. What is expensive coffee for me? Expensive coffee is when you go beyond 500 pesos for 250. That's expensive na for me. And so I tend to like expect a little more from it. So for 800 pesos a bag, a 250 bag, this is expensive coffee for me. So I'm expecting na okay, dapat hindi siya parang typical typical coffee lang. If it were, I'd be so annoyed. But good thing, it's not. It actually is very delightful. And I can really say na this is something that I can serve to my friends. And I know that they would appreciate na medyo kakaiba nga siya. Still same. Now that it's gone cooler, iba yung coffeeness niya eh. Pero every time you swallow it and all the flavor, like all the liquid has died down from your tongue, there's like an elevated feeling. Ewan ko if it's just me. I'll ask my other friends who've tasted this or who are about to taste this. I'll ask them too kung ano yung comment nila about it. But I like it. It's 800 reasonably spent for me. I do have another batch of coffee that I'll be trying out soon. I am still waiting for my other grinder because I wanted to compare also if the grinder plays a role in bringing out the flavor of a coffee. And I will talk more about that on my next video as soon as my other grinder arrives. My verdict is, check it out. It's very interesting. If you are looking for the sweetness, no, not really. I mean, at least for me, I didn't really achieve that. I will try to have more brews, and I will try to experiment it with Lily Drip and all the other experiments that I normally do. But it's a good coffee. It's unique. It's not your typical coffee, so you won't be disappointed. Yeah, so I guess that's all for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for reaching up to this point. If you have any other coffee suggestions, if you like this video, don't forget to hit thumbs up. If you didn't like it, just go away. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe and click that notification bell button for you to be notified as soon as I've uploaded a new video. And if you have any other coffee suggestions that you'd want me to try, don't forget to leave them down through the comments or get in touch with me through my Instagram, which is practically up here forever. So follow me on my Instagram. I'd love to connect with you. I'd love to talk to coffee enthusiasts. Let's learn from each other together. And I hope to see you on my next video. Bye. Mm-hmm.